Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vinny Eastwood Show, broadcasted live on the fabulous AmericanFreedomRadio.com. It's kind of like the fabulous Las Vegas, except we don't put pheromones into the radio frequencies to make you more comfortable so that you'll lose more money at the slot machines. And you're not gambling here. Oh, well, I don't know, some of you might be. Gambling with your sanity. And that's another thing. Getting exposed to this information, God, it does drive you nuts. Holy cow, man. I remember one time when I tried to tell my sister that what was it, white bread? You know how they get that flour so white? It's because they put bleach in it. Bleach! And so she's there, pregnant, making herself a bleached white bread sandwich. And she said, you know what, I'm perfectly happy to sit in my own cushioned little bubble of ignorance. Now, I'm not kidding, that is a quote. It enraged me so much. You know, as a truther, you get a little nuts. And you fly off the handle sometimes. Screamed at her, you know, and called her slave scum. And afterwards, I was just thinking, oh my God. That wasn't, reasonable. That's not going to help her wake up. It's just going to make her hate me. You know? You've got to keep your own behaviour in check. In check big time. Ho 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 ho. Is it hard to not lash out at people who tick you off? That's what people have got to realise, man. Part of this is the fact that the craziness of the information, okay, it exists because there are insane sociopathic scumbags out there who actually make this stuff up, make it happen, and it appears crazy to any sane person that looks upon it. That's the idea. So that anybody who comes out and says that there's a ruthless criminal bunch of sociopathic banking elite mofos that blew up the World Trade Center and are currently controlling the legislation and all the presidents of the world like puppets with a hand up their Jap's eye, okay, it sounds nuts to somebody who's not initiated, who doesn't know about it. Okay, and they have those reactions. They go, you're crazy, and they have the exact same reaction that a truther does when somebody behaves in a slave-like manner. Okay, you get this intense anger, as if it's that person's fault, as if they came up with the idea, as if they're not under mind control, as if they actually know what they're doing. Okay, it takes a long time to know what the heck you're doing and talking about in the truth movement. Let me tell you, because I've been doing it for like 5 years. And I still have no idea. No idea whatsoever. And so when people send you emails or give you calls or talk to you in any way, telling you that they know everything or they know the best information about this, that, and the other, and they're gonna blow your mind, I find it hard to take them seriously. There are people out there who say that, who do know a lot of awesome stuff. But the point of fact is the depth of knowledge on one subject does not encompass the entire view of everything. I don't think anybody has all the answers, but I think everybody has all the answers, you know, collectively, together. If we're reasonable, if we don't fly off the handle, if we communicate openly, honestly, and with integrity, not scumbaggery, we can reach agreements. And we can shunt out those people who are talking about crazy stuff that ain't got no evidence, because it's irrelevant. Okay? It doesn't matter if the moon is artificial, in my opinion. Let's say for the sake of argument it is. What does it change? Waiting. See, nothing changes. Your daily life does not change. Still the same thing. What are you going to do? Cruise, you know? It's not like you can get there. Or the average person can't anyway. So it doesn't matter. It's not something to base policy on at an intellectual level, on a government panel or something of that nature. This is the world we live in. That's my opinion. Okay, and we've got to make of it what we can. And if there's things that are outside our control, let's not waste time on them. Okay? Because many a man has gone insane trying to control things that are simply outside his control. Okay? Like Icarus. Flying too close to the sun with wax on his wings. The wax melts, he falls to earth and dies. Okay? How deep does the rabbit hole go? Well, it depends how far you're willing to crawl, because it's an infinite rabbit hole. And you'll find out that Neverland does not end. It goes on forever, and you could be stuck there in a permanent parallel reality if you don't learn how to pull yourself out of it. Come back out of that rabbit hole and just go, you know what? I know what's down that path. I've been down that road before. I know exactly where it ends. Be aware of your surroundings, because they have much more importance than any other ethereal aspect of your life. Okay, pay attention to the people around you. You'll find out that they have a lot to offer. What I find difficult to comprehend is just how anybody can be sure of anything. I'm in a perpetual state of wonder and uncertainty at the exposure to the type of information I get on just hosting this show. It blows my mind, staggers me, and then I still have to just, sit there and, meterly work through and get all the archives and all that stuff posted of a mechanical nature. And maybe I can ponder over these things later. But in retrospect, and I've been listening to some of the older shows from the ad-free archives, and in retrospect, it's actually impossible to listen to one of these shows and the huge amount of information that actually gets across in 2 hours. Kind of like a documentary. Will you be able to remember and recall every fact that's said to you during the course of one documentary after only just watching it once? No. And if you saw that documentary about a year later or something like that, would there be things in there that you kind of almost don't recognise and you go, oh, yeah, that's right, I almost forgot about that. Okay? It's through the process of repeated exposure to information that actually makes it sink into your long-term memory and is instantly able to be popped forward as a reference to something. And in the Truth Movement, we have huge quantities of obscure references that are just ready, willing, and waiting with bated breath to come out of us. Right? Somebody says something about 9/11, all of a sudden our ears prick up. And somebody's talking about terrorism, all of a sudden our ears prick up. We've got a million facts and figures that we can come in to the conversation with. And I find this is the interesting thing. Truthers, oh my God, they're good to party with, man. You have the best conversations you will ever have if you're partying with truthers. And none of them get too wasted. None of them get belligerent and overly aggro and stuff like that. Or at least none of the ones that I've been with. To the extent, or more to the point, none of them get violent. Real truthers I'm talking about. This is the kind of thing that the Vinny Eastwood social network is supposed to be about, so that you can bring people together so that they can talk with other people that, as it turns out, only just live down the road, kind of thing. All right, it happens on those social chats after the show all the time. I've been organising a couple of hours after each show during the day now to do 2 extra interviews a day. I've decided to do just an hour each, uploaded to the YouTube channel, Mr. News Guerrilla Media. So I haven't been taking part too much in the social chats, but they're still going every single day for hours and hours and hours. And there's new people coming in. Other people have taken responsibility for hosting the calls, and I don't have to do anything. My technical expertise is no longer required. And that's my methodology to a T, mate. Give people the tools so that they don't need me anymore. And that way, when I want to come in, I can. and I don't have to worry about anything or juggle anything because everybody's just automatically got it. Okay? Independence, man. And that's the whole point about having friends, is that you don't want to be dependent on your friends or vice versa. You know, both of you got to have your own things that you contribute, and you can't just lean on one another in too much of a predictable fashion like that, because it breeds, what's it called? It breeds contempt. Okay? I'm sick of that guy coming around here, he's always drinking my beers and blah, 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 you know? Oh my God. So, yeah, don't mooch off people too much. I mean, I should know. I'm the king of mooching. In fact, I had an idea last night. I wanted to do like a world tour, right? But I knew I wouldn't be able to afford anything, so I was just thinking about call it the Uber Mooch Tour or something with the word mooch, the Vinny Eastwood Mooch couch surfing tour orama or something of that nature, where I just cruise into a different town each day, stay with one particular truther who I can mooch off, just have some food and some internet stuff like that, so I can keep doing my show, and then move on to mooch on another person in another town at the next day. It'd be classic, I think. It'd be quite fun too. But anyway, we'll be right back. Hour number 2 coming up at the VinnyEastwoodShow.com. Join us in the chat room there as well. Just search Vinny Eastwood Chat. That's Vinny with a Y, because it's the most important question. Back in a few minutes. Do you realise every day we are being put under constant stress from wireless radiation? What's worse is that you don't even know that it's happening. It puts as much stress on our body as if we had a constant viral infection, draining our energy and sapping our strength, or just making us irritable and fatigued. These wireless fields are being emitted from computers, microwaves, mobile phones, power lines, and any electrical appliance. Now there is a solution. A group of research engineers in New Zealand have come up with an active shielding device that shields you from wireless radiation at a cellular level. Blue Shield comes in 3 models: a household, portable, and USB that plugs into any computer. The great thing about Blue Shield is it is very affordable and guaranteed to last. A one-off purchase will see you being protected for years to come. Visit AmericanFreedomRadio.com and click on the Blue Shield banner. Blue Shield, brought to you by the VinnyEastwoodShow.com.
No matter where you live, globalism affects you. Did you know that the Vinny Eastwood Show has more subscribers than New Zealand Herald TV and is New Zealand's most popular YouTube news channel, where warm-hearted humour and a list of awesome guests talk about crucial issues which the mainstream media ignore? A show where you, the listener, can phone up with questions, comments and suggestions of guests. Vinny is building a hub to connect truthers with raw information they need to become active. He can help you gain further skills such as website building, producing audio and video, and creating revenue streams in your own multimedia environment. Because Vinny supports such a wide range of people in the truth movement, he is not government or corporate backed and relies entirely on your donations. Give now, give generously, or subscribe for $10 a month for access to ad-free video archives. Just visit the VinnyEastwoodShow.com and click donate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to hour number 2 of the fastest 2 hours in talk radio. It's the Vinny Eastwood Show, broadcasting live on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. I was listening to Kevin Barrett's show with Jim Fetzer earlier today, and the subject of truthers who are, well, basically they may have good research and what have you, but the way they behave is, well, basically they become their own worst enemy. Nobody likes them, and so nobody wants to listen to them, regardless of the quality of their research. It happens all the time. People in this movement are damaged goods, man. A lot of them. And you've got to pick and mix, okay? And these people will reveal themselves to you if you're honest, straightforward, and straight up, and always trying to help and what have you. And they get all angry and stop communicating with you or misinterpret what you say, etc. That's a tip. And you're like, cool. Now I know that person's a knob. Not going to get them on the show anymore. You know? That's why I get so many different people on these shows once. Because a lot of them kind of, turn on you. And it's part of that trauma, as I mentioned earlier, that when you wake up, especially if you've had a official career or something that you've actually invested a lot of time in, a worldview, etc., you still have that cognitive dissonance somehow flying around up there, and you start to look back rather than look forward more often than not. And so people get stressed out for no reason, get angry for no reason, or at least to other people. To them, it's perfectly justifiable because they can't see that they're acting like a douche, right? And that's my problem. I just try not to act like a douche, and as a direct result of sending that little signal up, like a skyrocket or something, beating, shining out. A lot of people see that and go, "Oh, we need to outlaw those fireworks." People do that all the time. They see people having fun, not causing any harm, and trying to, improve maybe the quality of the world. And for some reason, they get it in their head that person's a bad person. Okay? It's insane. And quite frankly, I have reservations now where I didn't before about some people before coming on the show. Okay? Any listener, or even if you don't listen to the show, I don't really care, send me a email of the person that you want me to interview, and I will interview them. And only now, after a couple of years of doing this, am I weary about who I might be interviewing, and weary of the fact that I don't know who they are, because some of these people have sent out real scathing emails about me after the shows, or I've upset their friends, or something by some of the things that I have said. They don't like my attitude. I appear too cavalier. I'm too immature. The list goes on. While true, it's not coming from a bad place. Okay, if I'm not totally on the ball, I apologise. And I say, look, I was really tired that day, or something. And I'll listen back to the show. Like I listened to the show with Leno Sanik from Black Op Radio yesterday. And I thought to myself, man, this show's terrible. Not because Len was terrible, but because I was. I was always interrupting him, making lame, stupid jokes where inappropriate. And there were these long pauses. It was like terrible, kind of thing. And Len's been doing this show for 12 years or whatever. He's got methodologies to follow. He's got a wide back knowledge of JFK assassination and stuff like that. And instead of basically just letting him talk and lay it out, kind of thing, I was too busy trying to keep it flippant and stupid. I want to apologise to Len for that publicly. Because it's just, I look at myself sometimes and I think, Vinny, you're such an idiot. You do these stupid things, and what's good though is that I don't keep doing stupid things after I realise that I've done something stupid. Like the old quote, it might be Mark Twain: "When an honest man is confronted with being wrong, he either ceases to be wrong or ceases to be honest." I simply cease to be wrong, but the problem is, that I'm wrong about so many things, and I know that I am. I just don't know how I'm wrong or exactly what I'm wrong about, and I refuse to dwell on that too long, because if you dwell about how wrong you are, you don't realise just how right you are to be going out there and doing things on the megaphone and helping activists get some coverage that they deserve, and this kind of stuff. It's easy to forget the good things in your life when you're confronted with some of the bad things, because they're very overriding. When somebody questions you and critiques you and things like that, and you feel it's unjustified, you get this righteous flame of indignation in your belly kind of thing, and you want to attack them and be aggressive and stuff like that. And I'm just like, now, you know what? Bugger this person. I can figure out pretty quickly now, from an email or from a message or on YouTube or Facebook or anything like that. I can instantly see the mentality of this person as one of the people that I don't want to associate with. So, because there's so many other people out there who are good people, who I do want to associate with, who aren't knobs, I'll simply block that person and then go and, as a result, because I've got this extra time that I don't have to spend writing a long email telling this person how they're wrong, I write a very short email asking somebody else who would appreciate it to come on the show or do something of that nature, and actually produce some kind of a result out of it, a recorded interview full of positivity and happiness and things like that. It depends what you want to put your energy into. Okay? If you want to put your energy into energy vampires, they're just going to suck you dry. Because they don't give you anything back. They just take, hate. Frack that Shiite Muslim. Don't care. Get away from me. There's 7 billion people on this planet. What makes you worth my time? This ain't that me being arrogant. This ain't me being some people who think he's better than you, blah, 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 blah. This is more the fact that I don't want to associate with people who are mean to me. I don't want to associate with people who insult me if I don't have to. And now, I don't have to. When I was in the workforce, as all of us have been probably at some point during our lives, some of us still are, you have to associate with people like that because you don't have a choice. Okay? I now have a choice. Thank goodness for that. Block you! Get away from me. Don't want to ever hear from you again. There's a million other nice people out there that I can talk to and have fun with. Okay? That's how I want to spend my time. And if people want to be angry with me for wanting to spend my time with positive people and accomplishing goals and positive things, I've got no leg to stand on, because what have they accomplished? What have they achieved? You get all these people out there who, instead of making content themselves, simply sit around and lambast and attack people whose content they don't like and provide nothing to the greater sea of information other than hate, critique, no evidence. Okay? Stupid. Not worth your time if you are somebody like me who does the direct opposite. I barely look at other people's stuff. And usually the first time I'm exposed to somebody's material, it's when they come on this radio program, when I'm making a product with them and helping them to gain some followers for their websites and YouTube channels and radio shows and all that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to help people who are speaking the truth and making a positive difference get bigger. I mean, my ideal world will be one where I've got the ability, as well as being able to share that with others, to make people celebrities. Okay? How you make celebrity is you spread them across different media, right? You want them on radio, you want them on TV, you want them in print, you want them on web, and you want to have them making cameo appearances in TV shows and this stuff all over the place. Basically, in order to make somebody famous, you have to saturate, okay, across all these different various mediums that people get involved with. That's ultimately what I want to do, is build a media conglomerate. Hopefully one day it'll be the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere. Well on my way. So that every day we can have activists with their own radio shows and all of that sort of stuff, simply spreading out the feet of tentacles, not needing me to do it for them, having their own equipment, their own facilities, and this sort of stuff, completely detached from everything else, and being able to pursue their goals of waking the public up to the copious quantities of scumbaggery. And if they do not have the technical skill that it takes to host a radio show, produce one, or make videos and things of that nature, you give them a quick tutorial to show them how, and then give them the platform so that they can get the experience into how to do it. And it turns out, in most people's cases, they're simply not capable of it. Okay? I can assure you, radio weeds out the people who do not have the 100% commitment. Okay, you see it everywhere, man. Lots of people had co-hosts who don't anymore. It's because one person was absolutely dedicated and the other person wasn't absolutely dedicated. It's just that simple. It doesn't mean that that person's not going to go on to do great things and what have you. It just means that the radio's not for them, because it takes a lot of work, a lot of hardiness, a lot of acceptance, a lot of talking, a lot of networking. This is what I do all the time. Very few people can do it. Or more to the point, very few people are doing it. I think maybe people could if they were taught how, but I don't know. All I know is that I can, and so I must. The responsibility has fallen to me because I've got the ability. Okay? I don't really have any easy way out of this because, well, basically, I want this career to go really huge and help as many people as possible. I want to change the world, basically. Got that whole delusions of grandeur thing going for me. But the difference is, between most people who claim that that's what they want to do, is that they want to acquire all that power and all that recognition for themselves, whereas I'm doing it simply because I can, and I'm doing it to gain recognition for everybody else, who I believe does harder work than me, perusing through government documents, being held in Guantanamo Bay, being force drugged, or suffering debilitating diseases due to vaccine reactions, and then suing the vaccine manufacturers in court and stuff like that. I can't do that. That's I'd put that in the too hard basket for me. But these other people, on the other hand, this is what has happened to them. Like it or not, that's their life now. And I feel so sorry for them that they had worse stuff happen to them than happened to me. And I want to help by letting people hear their stories. And I want to hear their stories for the first time, just like the audience sometimes are. Because I don't know what it is about knowing something about somebody before you see them. You have all these different thoughts and things and all these different possible questions that run through your head, and you always wind up regretting the conversation afterwards. I should have said this, or I should have asked that, and that kind of thing. And I'm just like, no. You cut out the middleman. Stop putting the pressure on yourself. Just speak to this person as though they're a person. And if you know nothing about them, it's a heck of a lot easier. Okay? That's my perspective on it anyway. Because people are people, right? They all are. Some of them might be psychopathic scumbags, like the people get into Parliament and what have you, but in general, and this is another thing that I disagree with so many people in the truth movement about. They talk about sheeple and slaves and scum and blah, 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 blah. While I agree with some of the tenets, and that there are definitely those people out there, to keep talking about it in that sort of, superiority complex fashion, I guess. I'm better than you because you're a sheep, slave, scum, and I used to have this mentality, but now I don't. It makes you too full of yourself, I think, because you're putting yourself on a pedestal and you're putting everybody else down, which is exactly the same thing that the elite do, and I don't think any good can come from that kind of mentality. It's my perspective on it anyway. I could be wrong. Maybe getting real angry with people and forgetting your place and being rude for the sake of the truth is the right way to go. I don't know. I tried doing it. I did actually accomplish a fair amount, being rude to politicians and ambushing them and stuff like that. People love those videos, okay? Because, hey, they deserve it. But I'm wondering how much it actually costs me to do it versus how much it costs me to have a conversation with somebody I do agree with, who's trying to help people, rather than ambushing scumbags who are trying to hurt people. I wonder. I'm always a favour of doing both, if I don't have to choose between them. And I'm just conscious of the fact that I haven't ambushed a scumbag in a while. Like a long while. Almost since starting this radio show. I've all of a sudden become a lot more respectful. Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe we should all be really, really angry. But the problem is, you go up to anybody who's angry, and they don't want to talk to you. That's the problem. You are angry, but you got to pretend like you're not, so you can at least talk to the people that you're angry with. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit too much restraint, and it's that kind of restraint that we've put ourselves on that has allowed these scumbags to get away with crap for so freaking long. You listen to the Vinny Eastwood Show on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. You can join us in the chat room at theVinnyEastwoodShow.com. I'll be right back. Just a few minutes, folks.